Why are you locked in the bathroom? You talking to me? Maybe you should try getting a job.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Deep Dive Zone, a Sonic the Hedgehog podcast for fans of all shapes and sizes. As usual, I'm your host, Devin, joined by Lauren and Bruce, my co-hosts. How you fellas doing?
I'd be a lot better today if I didn't have to play Sonic Blast.
Yeah, our games today are not great.
One of them isn't that bad.
Yeah.
I'll leave that up to interpretation until we get to it.
Well, yeah, this week we are replacing quality with quantity as we tackle 5 different games in one episode. We've got Sonic Chaos, Sonic Triple Trouble, Sonic Blast, Sonic Drift, and Sonic Drift 2. And they are all Game Gear games. We're going non-linear with our order since this is definitely not the way in which they were released. And, well, let's just jump right into it and start with Sonic Chaos. This game is basic, is the word I would use.
Very basic.
Yeah, these 8-bit games are sort of blending together.
Yeah, it definitely feels like a continuation of, like, 8-bit Sonic 2. Not that that's particularly a good thing.
I would have to disagree.
Maybe 8-bit Sonic 1.
I think that this game is much more manageable than either of those two.
It is, but to me at least, it felt like a continuation off of the way those games sort of played.
Well, I suppose there are the vehicles to consider.
Yeah.
That sort of is a continuing theme. However, I don't know, maybe it's just that I enjoyed Sonic Chaos a lot more. It just seemed, like, more balanced.
It's a much easier game.
It's almost too easy.
Yeah, these levels are really... They're either really easy or really short, because they're almost always over in less than a minute, sometimes less than 30 seconds.
Yeah, I think I
Definitely noticed that.
I think I spent the only one level more than a minute on, and that's because I spent time getting rings for some reason.
Well, the some reason would be because the special stages in this game, which are... They're not different every time, but it's like you have a platformer stage and then a fly-in-the-tornado collecting rings stage, and they flip-flop. But those are the only challenging thing in this game, for the most part. You know, some stuff will screw you over.
The boss that was also in Mania was the most troublesome thing for me in this game. What was it? It's like a caterpillar, but it's upright.
Oh, that thing! Right, I forgot about that, from Gigapolis Zone.
Oh, yes. The zone names threw me through a loop, honestly, in a lot of these games, but this game, definitely.
Yeah, this game has stuff like Turquoise Hill and Sleeping Egg, which kind of sounds like Chinese bootleg Sonic the Hedgehog levels.
Really does.
You can play as Tails finally in this game, which I guess is a sort of replayability.
Despite him playing identically as Sonic, am I right?
No, he
can
actually
even fly?
can fly in this game, but you have to press up and jump, and his flying is very slow, because you have to be standing still.
I must be stupid. I literally selected Tails for a second, because I'm like, wait, can you fly? Because I want easy mode to get through this as fast as possible.
Fair.
But I couldn't get him to fly. Wow, I'm stupid, I guess.
Yeah, it must be that, like, the design documents got confused and, like, mapped the super peel out to flying, because Sonic also has the peel out in this game for some reason.
Yeah,
I didn't know that!
Yeah.
You don't need to use it ever, so... That was such a random ability for Sonic to have in this game.
Yeah.
Just read all manuals. I'm
not even sure it's different than the spin dash.
I
guess you still get hurt if you run into enemies with it.
You know what, though? I felt like there were multiple times I spin dashed into enemies and still took damage.
Well, that's Game Gear for you.
Yeah, fair. This game was also on the Master System.
I played
Not
the
that
Master
really
System
changes.
version.
I meant to play the Master System version, but I ended up playing the Game Gear version by accident.
Well, thanks to a late-term discovery, the Game Gear versions sometimes have different features than the Master System versions, and Kega Fusion can play the Game Gear versions at Master System resolutions, which I'd say actually...
though.
It is kind of messy. It puts, garbage data on the sides, and also you can't, move out of the aspect ratio on the whole screen.
Yeah, that was annoying.
But it does mean that certain things are better, like in Sonic 1 and 2, those games are easier on the Game Gear.
Yeah.
But this game is already easy enough. It even gives you rings and bosses now.
Which was very nice.
Finally.
Yeah.
This game was too easy for me to notice. I know in the later games, you lose 10 rings instead of all your rings. Is that in this game? I don't remember.
I don't remember because I couldn't see my HUD half the time.
No, that's Sonic Blast. We're going to talk about that. That game has you lose not all of your rings when you get hit.
I do kind of like that. But
yeah,
we can get to that when we get to it.
It makes it kind of like an extendable health bar of sorts.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's Blast. Not that there's a ton to say about Chaos, because, like, I'm looking through the list of levels here, but it's not like they have gimmicks. Sleeping Egg has some rocks to break through, I guess.
It also has springs that are, like, really annoying to navigate because there are big old pits, and the spring is, like, boing, boing, and you can, like, boing, and you, like, miss the end of the pit and die. So that combination.
And if you touch a wall, it throws you off with knockback.
That was the thing. I couldn't quite get to the edge. Well, no, I got to the edge, but there was a wall, like, right after the edge at one point. And so I could not land on there without hitting the wall, and it kept bouncing me back, and I kept dying, and I was like, what the heck? So eventually I just ditched the spring on purpose. I guess not all of the monitors that are like shoe monitors are like actual rockets, but the first one I found was, and I'm like...
Oh yeah, Sonic gets to ride a missile in this game.
Are these is that the speed up power up in this game? But I later realized it wasn't.
No, there's a very slight difference in the sprite between the Speed Shoes monitors and the Missile Shoes monitors. It's really hard to tell, though.
Yeah, and the resolution is so low, even with with it upscaled to Master System resolution, that it's hard to tell.
Yeah, I mean, they're trying the best they can with these sprites, but...
Oh yeah, I'm not going to complain about that, because the sprite work, I think, at least in this game, I think was overall decent.
Gets the job done, I think, is the word I'd use.
Yeah, it emulates the Genesis games better than the first two 8-bit games did.
This is obviously a very opinion-based thing, but I would actually say this is one of the best-looking 8-bit games that I've played anyway so far.
I think that's fair.
I really actually like a lot of the zones. I think they all look really nice, especially like Mecha Green Hill Zone. Like
that is the best idea for a level. Because it's Green Hill Zone that got roboticized. It's perfect.
It's awesome.
It even has the music. In Sonic 2 8-bit, in Green Hills Zone, the music was You Can Do Anything, which was, Sonic CD. And in this game, the music to Mecha Green Hill, no S, is an evil version of You Can Do Anything, which is very funny to me.
Okay. I thought that it sounded like something I've heard before, but I couldn't put my finger on it, so that's what that was.
Yeah.
This game also has like bits where you're running on a platform and then suddenly it becomes top down for a second, and I'm like, what's up with that?
There is?
I don't know about that.
Do you not know?
Okay, I don't remember that.
Did you never encounter any of the platforms you run across, and then the camera shifts such as above Sonic for a second, and then it just goes back again? And I don't know why. It's just
I may have just not encountered that.
There are a few of them. There aren't too many.
Interesting.
Huh.
It's weird, and it's like, oh, I guess we wanted to make something look cool, but it doesn't serve any purpose.
That's interesting. I'll have to look up footage of that for the edit, I guess.
I mean, I think it's not like, it doesn't like move everything in like a really pseudo 3D sort of thing. It's just Sonic looks different for that.
Right.
It's not like, what the heck, how'd they do this? But it's like, that's interesting.
Gotcha.
Anyway, they brought back the little chick enemies in Aqua Planet Zone, and I was surprised by that from Sonic 2 8-bit, that one boss. That's just kind of like,
I knew I'd seen those things before.
Those like, to come back.
They were familiar, but I was like, where have I seen those? And that's where it's from. Well, that boss in particular, I would say the bosses in this game feel a lot more fair than Sonic 1 and 2 just because they let you have rings, but some of them are also just pathetic on the face of it.
Well, a lot of them you can juggle really easily.
Yeah.
I don't know if juggling's really the right word, but...
What I noticed was many of the bosses, almost all of them it feels like, don't know how to attack right, only left. So if you just run to the right of them, you can destroy them. And they can't even hit you.
Yeah.
I think I noticed that as well. Or at least thinking about it, that's very true.
It's like an overcorrection from Sonic 1 and 2 8-bit, where those games were brutally hard, and we're seeing now, they were brutally hard because without the difficulty, there's not a lot here.
Yeah, honestly, it's not bad, but it's just bland.
Yeah, I'll say I prefer that. I'd still take this and more of this any day over Sonic 1 and 2 8-bit.
Oh, 100%. I don't want to fight that hog ever again.
The boss of Mecha Green Hill Zone.
The tree climbing thing?
Yeah, so I was like, wow, this thing is like super pathetic. And then I like accidentally fell under it and it crushed me between the spikes and insta-killed me. I'm like, well played. I underestimated you. It was just a funny moment.
They do a lot of weird stuff like that. Like, even after, like, the final boss, Eggman's last mech in this game, you fight his chicken walker thing, but then he brings out this different, like, missile tank thing.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it kills you in one hit even if you have rings, and you just have to land one hit on it to defeat it.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up too. That's weird. For some reason I was like, does it take your rings away? But since you can't even see your rings, which is an odd choice, by the way.
The game doesn't really respect your time.
Well, I'd say it really respects your time because it takes almost nothing.
Maybe not time. It doesn't respect the player because there's a lot of... While the stages are short, there's some BS in them. And the bosses, I think, have the most BS in them.
The last stage brings back tubes.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Oh, okay. I think... I didn't write tubes. I remember there were tubes, but I made no notes because I already complained enough about tubes. Are there tubes in the other games too? I think there are.
There's tubes in 2. I don't think there's tubes in 1. There's gonna be tubes again, though.
I meant the other games today for this episode.
There's tubes in Blast, because...
Okay.
We'll get to those.
Yeah, I don't like tubes, but that's not something exclusive to this game. It's just weird that it's becoming a recurring theme.
Yeah.
I think the music in this game is pretty alright. Like, I can remember it better than 1 and 2's music.
Yeah.
I'm finding I'm not able to remember themes from games when I just played through them once really quickly, which I guess makes sense. But I listened to the music separately, and no, I'd actually say it was pretty good.
Yeah, I like, I always got, like, mildly weirded out by Sleeping Egg Zone's theme just because it's a very weird-sounding track for a stage that already doesn't feel quite real. Because I don't know what that area is. It might be mountains. It's sort of the inverse of Collision Chaos, because that was a stage that was full of detail that I just couldn't tell what the detail was supposed to mean. And this is a stage that is so undetailed that I can't tell what it was ever meant to represent.
Yeah?
Yeah, in some of the classic games, they try to tell, like, a story, right? But then some of the others, it's just like, okay, let's come up with a weird theme, and they came up with really weird themes that aren't even reminiscent of actual places, I guess.
Yeah, Aqua Planet really does feel like a different planet sometimes.
Oh, maybe that's what it's supposed to be. That would explain the appearance, certainly. I don't know why it was called Aqua Planet. I didn't think that he actually went to another planet, but maybe you do.
I mean, you can headcanon pretty much anything for this game, because it has no story. It's just Eggman has Chaos Emerald, go kill.
Oh, really? There's no story? Huh.
Okay, well, I guess I don't have the manual in front of me, but I don't think it has any particular story.
I see. Overall, this was my favorite of the games that I played for this, and I didn't think it was bad for being short. I thought it looked pretty great. I really liked pretty much the look of all the zones. They all had a good look to them. I thought the music was nice. I mean, even if it was short, it doesn't make it bad.
Yeah,
I had no expectations for this, and it didn't fail my expectations. So
yeah, no, I would not call this a terrible game. I would call it a rather insubstantial game, but overall, it was definitely my favorite of tonight as well.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Because our second game of the night is Sonic Triple Trouble, which is trying very much to be more than what Chaos was, and adding a few bits of annoyance in the process for me.
Oh, I preferred Triple Trouble over Chaos, personally.
I think there's more substance to it.
Didn't.
Yeah, I think that's why I preferred it.
I think that the level design is full of stuff. It just kind of puts a bunch of stuff everywhere.
Yeah, that's true. I think I just preferred it because it felt more substantial than Chaos.
Yeah, and I get that. This is definitely the most game of tonight.
Yeah, and I still think I finished it in like an hour and a half.
Oh yeah, it's still not a lot.
Right.
This is the first Game Gear game to have Knuckles in it, so that's something.
That's right.
He's back to being a baddie for some reason.
Yeah, I get. That's
He's
what
like an eco-terrorist or something.
Yeah, I don't get what's going on. Like in 3 and Knuckles, he always like traps you or something, sends you to the next zone or tries to hit you or so whatever. But this time he's just like, I will burn everything or I'll freeze everything one time.
Yeah, I don't get his goal.
I think it's, more Eggman, tricking him or whatever. The problem is, in Sonic 3 it made sense, because that whole game takes place on Angel Island, and the Chaos Emeralds and the Master Emerald are there, and Eggman says,
Right.
Sonic's coming to take the Master Emerald, or whatever. I guess he probably says Chaos Emeralds in the classic games, but Knuckles doesn't care about the Chaos Emeralds in the modern games, so I don't know how to rectify that. But in this game, it's not set on Angel Island, it's just some place.
Yeah, this isn't the last time that Knuckles would be tricked by Eggman either. For some reason, it's like he's Sonic bad. Knuckles is like, you're right. I'll join you a few times.
It just kind of seems like Knuckles is just kind of gullible.
I think people have this debate about Knuckles a lot where they say he's not stupid, he's just gullible. And I think that makes sense. The problem is he's gullible to the point of it feeling like it's stupidity. And that's just a product of, they didn't really care that much about the writing at this point in the story, and that's fine.
Yeah.
It's not offensive to me personally. We'll get into what about Knuckles begins to offend me as we get into games where characters have voice acting.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, yeah.
The special stages are different again. In Chaos, you just had to get 100 rings to do it, and that's why that game absolutely showers you with rings in those levels. In this
Game has special stages?
Yeah, in this game, the special stage is just monitors that lie around levels and send you to challenge areas, basically.
Oh, is that what the Emerald monitors were for?
Yeah, I saw one, and then I promptly ignored it.
You have to have a certain amount of rings for it to work anyway, so it's very roundabout. Okay. And they send you to the special stages, which is basically a platforming challenge, and then an encounter against new character, Fang the Sniper, who is different to Knuckles in that he is a joke from the moment he's introduced.
Damn, I didn't even meet Fang. I know, I've heard of him.
He appears at the end of the game, always, doesn't he?
Oh, that's right, he did. Yeah, and I was like, I don't remember you being even in the game.
Yeah, you only meet him in the special stages, and that is... part of his backstory is that he's apparently from the Special Zone, which just makes me wonder... how does one exist inside the Special Zone? And that's a question that will never be answered, and frankly is not even very well answered by the Archie comics, but... Is
the Special Zone like an alternate reality?
I mean, I always thought it was something that the Chaos Emeralds projected whenever they were left alone too long, but I guess it must be.
I guess...
Well, this is lore I have not even thought of. I always thought the special stages were a gameplay thing and
that's
didn't really exist in universe.
Right. That makes more sense.
You just find
honestly.
the emeralds.
Right. That makes a lot more
easy.
sense.
Well, and that's certainly how, the series would go on to treat it. Even as Heroes has, the Special Zone in it, it's not like anything that happens in the special stages has an effect on the plot. In the adventure games, there are no special stages. They're just lying around.
Maybe that was why I sort of got that perception, actually. It's because they stopped doing it eventually.
But this game, I think the manual says it, maybe it's not. But whatever it is, it definitely... there's definitely a canon bit of stuff that says Fang is from the Special Zone. There's also a weird debate about this character's name and species, because he is Fang the Sniper. That's, I believe, his Japanese name. The American localization decided to call him Knack the Weasel.
I remember that. I almost said that right after you said his name.
Yeah, I was gonna say that as well.
So it's a different name, and it's also wrong, because apparently, I don't even remember where we got this information, I'll have to double check before I do the edit, but apparently, Fang's canonical species is a hybrid animal of a wolf and a jerboa, which is like a rodent with really long legs.
Yeah, it's the kangaroo mouse. Except I think they're African.
Introduces even more weird implications to Sonic lore, because we have never had hybrid animals. I always just assumed that, if the parent is one or the other, then the kid will be one or the other. But no. Apparently you can be part one species and part another.
Perhaps it was an effect of the Special Zone. It mutated him or something.
It's weird, because this is the character with simultaneously the most and least lore. They have these weird little notes about him, but he doesn't have a story, He's just around.
Mm-hmm. Why is it called Great Turquoise? It looks like Green Hill. The names are very strange.
Yeah.
It's that Green Hill nostalgia.
Right, but at least they didn't literally call it Green Hill
Right.
until later.
Right.
They should have called it Turquoise Hills.
Oh no, that's like screwed up in every possible way. Oh yeah, during this zone, it didn't happen again, where I was about to be crushed between a platform and the ceiling, and the game was like, no, you don't die in one hit, you just lose your rings. I'm like, It was really weird. I'm not sure what happened.
That is weird. I've never seen that. Why do more Sonic games not do that? Just push you out of the platform and make it take damage. That would be so much less of a problem than crushing always is in these games.
I agree wholeheartedly.
You can even play a horrifying sound effect as it happens. I don't care.
Oh dear gosh. Also, I was really surprised, because you have to do it for the boss, I think, unless there's some other way to do it. You can curl in mid-air, which you can't do in other Sonic games, can you?
I don't think there's any other Sonic game where you can do that. Maybe I guess in Sonic 4 you can homing attack out of a spring, but that's not the same.
Yeah, I was totally thrown through the loop, because at first I was like, how are you supposed to do this? And then I just tried it on a whim, and I was like, that shouldn't have worked. What is going on?
It's a weird feel.
But those are some of, like, those were weird moments. The main reason I didn't like this game as much is there was so much that I was like, no, this is terrible. Starting with the Sunset Park boss, there's such a long build-up, and it's so boring and repetitive.
Yeah, they have an auto-scroller on the train.
Oh, yeah.
And I like the music to it.
I didn't even realize that was another stage. Like, I had to die to realize it was another zone, or another act.
Yeah, I didn't at first either, actually. But, yeah, and I'm just like, I thought I was doing something wrong. It was taking forever, and I was like, am I supposed to do something? So I, like, died a few times trying to do something else. Like, you jump down in those little divots on purpose? No. Am I supposed to run really far forward, fall backward? What? And I didn't understand. And eventually I'm like, okay, is it going to end? And it ended. And I'm like, okay. And then the actual boss, it dies in one hit, but it's really annoying to hit. I don't even know how I hit it and beat it.
It's just kind of a guy you got to hit at the front of the train, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, pretty much.
And really, actually, now that I'm looking at it, the bosses are the biggest problem I have with this game, it looks like.
That's fair.
I didn't like the meta Junglera boss either, where it dies, and then it just like, I will beat you up for a while, and then I actually die.
When I got to meta Junglera, I had a mild panic attack having memories of the jungle zone from the Sonic 1 8-bit.
Don't blame you.
Yeah, it's not nearly that bad, but I guess it does the rest in psychic damage by being named Meta Junglera. What the hell is that?
It sounds like a bad cryptocurrency.
Those names. Those weird names.
It does. They have their own selection of apes from the jungle.
No. But after not liking a lot of the game, Robotnik Winter I do like, because I'm just a sucker for winter themes. Honestly, that makes it for me. Also, I didn't see it coming at all. So when suddenly there's this winter zone, I'm just like, yeah.
And they managed to do a snowboard sequence without being automated like in Sonic 3, and without feeling like a complete crapshoot like in Sonic Adventure. So that's something.
Yeah, it actually was not bad.
Pretty nice, actually. I like
Robotnik Winter. It sounds like a pun, but it's not a pun on anything.
It sounds like Robotnik's personal ski resort.
I'd like to go there.
It's just insert Eggman thing here, similar to like Electric Egg or Sleeping Egg or Crystal Egg.
Yeah.
Or, wait a minute, that's actually just the egg theme.
Actually, I wonder what that level's name is in Japanese. Is it called Eggman Winter or Robotnik Winter?
Let's see. There we go.
I'm still thinking about that ski resort idea.
It is called Robotnik.
It's called Robotnik?
Japanese?
Yeah, in Japanese.
Wow. So that might be the first time Robotnik appears in any of the games in Japanese. Because it doesn't happen again until Sonic Adventure 2, as far as I know.
Interesting. So I do like Robotnik Winter, but my mood was soured by the end because I hate the boss. At least for the first few hits, it's incredibly precise. You have to jump over its front fire. It reminds me of trying to hit the Death Egg robot when it's not leaned over, which you can do, but is not recommended. Do not try this at home, kids. But the boss makes you do it.
Yeah.
Until it gets weaker and pathetic after you hit it a few times, and I'm like, huh? I thought this was terrible, and the game it gives up or something.
Yeah, these games have had a little bit of twists to some of their bosses. That was the thing with the Aqua Planet boss too, where you would defeat it, but then it would keep going and attack you for a couple more hits.
Right. Yeah, that's true. Moving to Tidal Plant. Tidal Plant. I almost said Tidal Planet. It is the worst part of this game because they brought back the stupid bubbles. I never wanted to see those bubbles again.
Ah, yes, the bubbles.
The audacity of these bitches.
I can't believe it. I literally had like a panic attack the first time I walked in one of those bubbles. I'm like, I can't survive another one of these zones.
Yeah, it was
and I almost didn't.
Because it's not just that they brought it back, which is a bad enough move in and of itself, but they also patronize you by making it easier because you can touch ceilings and walls now.
They improved it slightly, but it's still absolutely awful. It was a drudgery to get through both acts.
Yeah, no, it's still slow and crappy.
Damn, I'm starting to realize maybe I didn't like this game.
I hope you didn't like this game. No one should like this game.
It's complicated.
I thought I did. Yeah, I thought I liked it, but thinking about it and talking about it, it's like, no, the game was kind of shit.
Well, no, but
Really?
you are right, because it does have way more ambition than Chaos. It even has its own Knuckles fight here in Tidal Plant.
There was a Knuckles fight?
Oh, right. Okay.
That's right, there's a Knuckles fight.
I actually kind of did like that boss. Well, at least more than some of the others. I guess it wasn't really that good, but...
Oh, I should have done a Knuckles playthrough to check who he fights here, because you can play as Knuckles in this game.
Oh, that's right.
Wait, can you? Am I being
Interesting
stupid?
question.
No, I can't. No, you can't.
No, you-
Why am I?
no,
No,
saying
you
you're
that?
being stupid.
Yeah, you play
I
Knuckles in the
felt
next
it.
game, the best one.
The best. Calling Sonic Blast the best game? What is wrong with you?
Hey.
Okay. We're not there yet, though.
Almost.
Almost. Okay, yeah, the title plant. Yes, that's title plant. But Atomic Destroyer. Okay, first of all, that name, like, is Eggman gonna like destroy all matter in the universe down to the atom?
No, he's
Not
he's
until
working
issue
on
50,
his...
he's not.
Okay.
Not till
They should have
Spoiler
called this
alert.
Ultimate Annihilator.
Oh, okay, I get that now.
Spoiler alert, okay.
It's okay, it doesn't work.
Spoiler
In fact-
alert even more.
The ultimate... we're gonna get to this, but the Ultimate Annihilator does everything except annihilate things.
And
I've always said it before, but it was sabotaged. Keep in mind.
Does it make coffee?
I know, but whatever. Atomic Destroyer.
Atomic Destroyer. I actually like the gimmick of this zone. Not the tubes, but
More
the
tubes.
buttons that you step on that spring traps. I think that's really neat, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, I hated everything about this zone.
Oh.
I'm gonna say it's annoying. It was not a huge trial.
I mean, I don't think it was a huge trial. It was just I did not like it. It was, it's hard to describe. Just
Yeah, sometimes you just have a bad feeling. I get that. Whenever I wasn't in a tube, I thought it was neat. I thought it was a fun little.
I liked
felt
it
appropriately
aesthetically.
dangerous.
It did.
Yeah, it was otherworldly. You kind of get. I'm trying to describe There's a place that we used to go on like our church youth group like outings. There was a glow-in-the-dark mini-golf place that we would visit sometimes, and the backgrounds that they had painted on the walls there were like this toxic cave filled with like toxic waste and monsters, and they had like drawings of Metroids on the wall. The feeling of the cave walls that they had drawn, where it's just this endless cave in deep blue, that's how Atomic Destroyer feels like to look at, and that's a very particular emotion that I didn't think this game would stir in me. Which it then managed to surprise me, because you get ambushed by Metal Sonic in this level. I didn't even know he was in this game.
Yeah, I was like, what? Metal
And he's
Sonic?
easy.
Not too hard, I agree, but very boring. I hate the long sections of, okay, now I just dodge you like 10 times in a row, and then you finally become vulnerable again.
Yeah, he wastes your time.
Yep.
I guess, is this technically the first actual boss fight against Metal Sonic in the series, since it's not a race?
Maybe. I
guess it doesn't have much impact since there's the two Mecha Sonic fights, but, they're different guys.
Right. Oh, yeah. Okay. That's basically the same.
I wonder if they have, fights over Eggman's attention.
Well,
all of these comics and TV shows that always give Eggman two dumb lackeys to fight over his attention and be stupid, and they never use Metal Sonic for anything.
Well, because Metal Sonic later on gets portrayed more as just an emotionless killing machine.
Well, I know, but he's
not.
Well,
I agree with your. Yeah, I know, but I agree with your opinion though that would be a lot more interesting.
Yeah. Anyway.
The final boss seems to have like 1 billion hits.
Yeah, you break off pieces of it.
Is that what you're doing?
I think so. It's kind of a mess.
It is. The final boss was, it was a final boss.
It certainly was final and a boss fight.
That's about all I can really say. I feel like the first two parts weren't that bad, but I had a lot of trouble with the third part.
Oh yeah, this where he like spins around and
he
tried to camp in one of the sides and it didn't work. He just
not a wonderful fight.
Oh, actually, here's a fun little fact about the final boss. I technically died to him after I killed him.
Oh really?
It crushed me, so I just went and looked up if there was anything after the final act or the third part. I did not see the credits or the last cutscene of the game, so I have no idea what happens.
Oh, well, when you beat Knuckles in Title Plant, it looks like he dies, but then it turns out he's alive at the end, and he and Sonic make up, and they kiss, and it's really cute.
Damn, that was one of my notes. So Knuckles drowned. Damn, I have to redo my headcanon.
Alright, for our viewers listening, they don't actually do that. I was starting a running gag back in the Sonic 3 episode.
Maybe not in your version.
I don't know what the British comics have in them, so...
Well, we're gonna read them.
We will.
We need to find instances where every character looks like they die, so it's like everyone died. Because Tails died in 8-bit, and then Knuckles died here. He actually died twice, because he died at the end of Sonic 3.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, we'll have plenty of alleged deaths for Sonic. I don't know about Amy. Sonic Frontiers is not yet out at the time of this recording, and given that the original leaks for Frontiers said Sonic was going around talking to a ghost girl, and so we hear a ghostly voice in the trailer, and we've now confirmed that it is Amy. People are like, did Amy die? So maybe that counts?
Huh.
You can become a ghost without dying. Fiction is weird.
Yeah, it's not like Sonic's based in reality.
Well, we don't even know if it's actually a ghost. I'm gonna guess it's a walkie-talkie, because that's what Forces had, but that's neither here or there.
What is here is the end of Triple Trouble. I didn't like this game at all.
It's alright. I think that Chaos is better just in terms of sheer competence. I think this game was trying to be the best Game Gear Sonic game, and I think it makes sense for a lot of people think that this is the best Game Gear Sonic game, and I think that because it attempted that, that's why. Sonic fans, I've noticed, really value games trying really hard to be something, even if they're not necessarily the most successful at those things. Which is why the games that I prefer, I usually have a lot of very cold reasoning as to why I like them better, is because you can't necessarily win me over with ambition, but a lot of people will defend, the games to the death that they think are the best because it stirs up their emotions in a certain way, and I think this is a much lesser version of that effect. Which is not to say anything about Bruce, who said it was his favorite. This is just something that I've noticed within Sonic fandom as a trend.
Fair, talking about it, I don't think it actually is my favorite.
I know you're right, actually, about the ambition and giving it credit for trying. Because when we get to Chronicles, that's the song I'm going to be singing.
Yeah, and I think, and there are things that I legitimately like about that game for some of the same reasons. So it makes sense.
And, people can like what they want. So I see that, even if
there is ultimately, I think, not an enormous difference between liking something a lot and thinking that thing is good. I think that we try to articulate it a lot because we're, sometimes we have preconceived notions about what it would mean to say a thing is good versus to say that we like it, but I don't think the line is completely well-defined.
Yeah.
Which is good. It means that everyone's opinion is valid, so...
But some people's opinions are more valid.
Mm-hmm.
Well, some people have what most people would agree to be better-founded opinions, yeah.
I was also
Anyway.
joking, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I know. We're not having any kind of super deep critical discussion here. And we certainly
Not
aren't
yet.
going to be having any super deep critical discussion of Sonic Blast, a game that is
Fuck
neither
this game.
ambitious nor well executed.
Fuck this game.
Yeah,
This game made me explode in the later sections.
it is rough.
My dad heard me playing it earlier this afternoon, and there were a couple times where he heard me telling the game to, like, fuck off, and I'm pretty sure he thinks less of me now for getting angry at a stupid baby game.
No one
It-
should think less of you for raging at Sonic Blast.
It's like shitty Donkey Kong.
Yeah, it's a pre-rendered 3D game on an 8-bit handheld from, like, the 80s. I think the Game Gear was out in the 80s. Maybe I'm stupid. I think it wasn't actually, no. Whatever, we'll look it up later. But it has these really nasty, crusty sprites of Sonic and the first Game Gear playable Knuckles, and neither of them feel good to play as.
Oh, I didn't even bother playing as Knuckles because I figured Sonic would be bad enough.
I almost played Knuckles, and then I'm like, wait a minute. Probably harder against bosses or something, and I thought better of it.
I would like to
I
point
think-
out that the box art looks like it should be a port of Sonic 3D Blast to the Game Gear.
Well, so that's the thing, is that we're not talking about Sonic Labyrinth in that episode, because we're saving that
Right.
for, like, the Joke Bad Games episode, which is becoming more and more of a thing that's going to feel not correct once we get there, because this game might be worse than Labyrinth.
This game should have been in that list, maybe.
Yeah, it might have been. But the thing that they did with Sonic 3D Blast is that, oh, well, we can't make an isometric 3D rendered platforming game for the Game Gear, so we'll make an isometric game, and we'll make a 3D rendered game, and those will be our releases.
That's right.
That's just
And
as good
this-
as doing both.
This feels cheap and like it was an obligation. Sonic is really stiff. The physics don't work if you try to, like, spin dash through a loop. You just kind of get stuck on it.
Yes, I noticed that. Thank God I'm not the only one who noticed that.
No, you're not going crazy. It is
God.
completely soulless. Like, Green Hill in this game is Green Hill, but it doesn't look or feel like Green Hill. It doesn't have any of the set dressing. It's just bleh.
But I will be honest, this is the first game, I think, since Sonic 1 where I actually skipped levels to actually finish the game.
Ooh.
I don't blame you.
I skipped Blue Marine because I got to a point where I was going through pipes in a loop and couldn't escape it.
Okay, I was gonna do them in order, but I'll just skip to my thoughts on Blue Marine, I guess.
Yeah.
I was almost there. There are a few times playing these games that I've never played before, and I'm only playing to talk about now, where I was like, I so want to stop playing. This was one of them. I got stuck. I think it's the beginning of the first act, where it's the first bit of water rapids. I was like, how are you supposed to do this? And I was like,
You
going
can't
through
even
it over
see
and
the
over and
currents.
over.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
probably where I got stuck as well and just gave up on the entire zone.
I couldn't figure out how to do it.
Yeah, I did manage to do Blue Marine legitimately, but I didn't have a fun time doing it. It was a lot of trial and error and save stating just to make sure I have a position I can go back to.
Fair.
When Sonic is flailing around out of control from the currents, I was laughing initially, and then it became humorless later on. But
Well, because you start feeling like Sonic.
I know.
Yeah, the
control.
only saving grace is that I think the tubes refill your air,
It
Do they?
doesn't look that way.
which with how much
Uh,
time you have to spend underwater is literally necessary, but it also means you're spending that much time underwater, and you were already sluggish in this game, and it's so... Gah.
Yeah, I did eventually figure it out and get through the rapids. But, because it's a combination of both. It's the rapids and there's also tubes. It's like, we took both of the terrible things about the handheld games. Well, actually, we invented a new one, and then we took the other one that was terrible, and we put them together, and it was even worse. Big surprise. And then after that, I was like, do you just not drown in this game? Hype? And so then I drowned later, and I was like, oh, so you can drown.
Did you notice that there's a very slight delay after your air hits 0 where you're like, why am I not drowning? And then you drown?
That's why I drowned, because I saw the countdown. I'm like, this can't be real. It's like a practical joke, right? Because I couldn't find any of the bubbles, and I was in a weird state of mind. And then it didn't kill me. I'm like, that's right, game. Don't you dare kill me. And it did.
Yeah. Man, we jumped to the water level. I guess it was just that bad, but I don't have anything to say about most of the other ones. I have literally one line for each. I have Soulless Green Hill, Yellow Desert is boring and easy, and why do they call it Red Volcano when it's purple?
That's a good point. Maybe because the lava's orange.
Okay.
There's only 5 zones in this game.
Yeah,
that's a positive in this game, for this game at least. There's only so much of it you can play.
Well, and some of the acts are as short as Sonic Chaos. They get giant by the time of Blue Marine 2, but
I didn't even play Blue Marine 2. I skipped Blue Marine entirely.
I don't blame you.
Honestly, just more of Blue Marine 1. Just as terrible.
Rad. Nice. So I did the right thing.
I guess so.
Although there are more of these crab meat enemies that pop up, which are hysterical. I don't understand that animation. The eyes are so goofy. I love it.
He's having a bad time.
It really is. Its eyes just keep going bloop, 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 bloop.
He's empathizing with the player.
Yeah, that's how my eyes felt when I was playing this game.
Yes. I guess it's fitting that the awkward sprites in this game tend to look ridiculous at times.
Yeah. Maybe I think the sprite work might be the best part of this game, but not in a good way.
Yeah, ironically, yes.
Well, I mean, I guess it's technically impressive that they managed to get 3D rendered sprites like this looking the way they do on a game.
Don't give them any credit.
I'm not giving them that much credit.
Don't give Aspect credit. They're
credit.
They made a bad game and they should be blasted for it.
Yeah.
I don't actually have all bad things to say about this game. I liked that you have a double jump base. I think
that's like a double jump.
That's neat, and I use that a lot. Whereas I always forget the instant shield exists. I don't use the super peel out ever. I just would rather spin dash.
Yeah.
So when it comes to special abilities, I'm like
the double jump. Yeah, I will agree. The double jump's a good addition. I just wish the game utilized more.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, especially in modern Sonic games, the double jump is usually a form of jump correction, and you can't really use it here. You just have to use it to gain a little bit of extra height.
Right.
Yeah, I suppose that's true.
Or to slightly delay yourself so that you can get a hit in on the bosses in this game, which they feel a little lazy. I mean, this whole game feels phoned in, but the bosses in particular, I think, do.
Well, I don't know. Lazy? I wouldn't exactly call them lazy.
I'm mostly thinking of the first boss, which is like a helicopter that throws a boomerang at you, and he just kind of sits there.
The boomerang charging sound effect sounds exactly like the sword charging effect in Zelda Minish Cap. Like, I swear it's the same sound effect.
Yeah, I haven't played Minish Cap in years.
Yeah, we should make this podcast about Zelda games instead, so we never have to talk about this game again.
Just for that reason.
That would lead to us having to talk about the CDI games at some point. So we're not free.
I play the CDI games over this game.
We're doing it to ourselves by being a completionist. We could just do the games we actually care about, but no, we do all of them, and so there is suffering. No series is perfect, especially when it's expansive.
That's true. I like the yellow desert boss.
Yeah, it's a Journey to the West reference?
Yeah,
I like that. I like Journey to the West, so the boss itself was boring.
It's a really weird reference.
Not that weird, Journey to the West is popular in Japan.
I guess. Fucking Yoibo.
I completely missed the reference. I just thought it was like... I don't know what it was. I just thought it looked cool, but I didn't know it was a reference to something.
He's a monkey with an extending pole riding a cloud,
it's Sun Wukong.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll see more of that once we get to, like, Monkey Khan in the comics, anyway.
Monkey Khan! I remember that character. It's one of those comic characters. I'm like, yeah, it's a character It's in the comics. I have no other.
That is typically what people think about comic characters.
It's a character that's in the comics. Alrighty then.
Anyway, yeah, no, I only got mad at the bosses because you have to hit them directly in the cockpit, and the hitboxes kind of...
That was annoying. I spent most of the second boss trying to smack him in the ass.
Yeah,
I figured that out by the end of the first boss, but it did throw me off before I figured it out.
You know, so I think what it was I didn't notice that you had to hit the cockpit.
Yeah.
Oh, it just happened. Okay.
Yeah, so when I actually got to the second boss and I started hitting him in the butt, I'm like, yeah, this is taking a while.
Oh, yeah. Well, especially since it was Triple Trouble, wasn't it? Yeah, where the bosses don't have any indication, it looks like, when you actually damage them. At least some of them. I don't blame you for that. For some reason, when you pause the game, the rings keep on spinning, but nothing else moves. It's kind of trippy.
Yeah, I noticed that.
I don't know why they made the shields like tiny spinning stars instead of actual shields.
I know, that threw me off. I was like, oh boy, I have invincibility. No, I don't.
Is it that hard to make a shield look like a shield? Apparently it is, or it's just an artistic choice or something.
Just draw a blue circle.
There were shields?
Yeah. Not a lot of them, but a few of them.
This is the thing that we've been running into with these games, is that one of us will mention something about them, and the other people will go, that was in this game?
Just like I did earlier today, and you didn't know there were special stages?
Yeah, so special stages in this game are accessed apparently through big rings that float like in Sonic 3. I didn't even see any of those. I had no idea those were in this game.
I saw one in Silver Castle. That's it.
That's the same one I saw too, and I completely ignored it.
I don't think this game has anything special if you get all the emeralds, because this game doesn't have anything special if you do anything.
There is an extra boss.
Oh my god, are you serious?
I'm looking at the wiki right now.
They do that for this game and not Sonic Chaos?
Apparently.
I'm trying to figure out how you fight it. I cannot figure out how you fight it.
This game's a bust, don't worry about it. Nowhere is that more clear than in Silver Castle.
Yes, we can talk
which
about
is
that
full of teleporters, and I hate it.
Oh god, I hated it so much.
Yeah, it's a shame. Well, this whole game is a shame. And I don't really know why this is especially a shame. It still doesn't really look that good, but I feel like it looked a little better than the other zones. Maybe I'm just a sucker for mechanical Eggman bases.
Well, it at least had a background. Like, a lot of stuff, like, I'm trying to think, I think it's the third boss, where you just fight him in a black void. That might be the second boss, too, actually.
Oh.
The second boss you fight in a black void. The third boss you fight in a black void with a fucking spinny thing.
That's so random.
Blue Marine.
But yeah, that's
you
true.
You fight him underwater, at least.
It's funny. Actually, this is ironic, right? So, at the end of Sonic 1 8-bit, Scrap Brain is a maze, right? And I actually liked it then. Because it was a nice change of pace, and I guess it wasn't terrible. But this one is just confusing.
Because there's a difference between a maze and then a teleporter maze.
That's
yeah.
You're darn right. A lot of video games do teleporter mazes.
Pokemon seems to have a hard-on for them.
It's a cheap way to make mazes really confusing.
It really is.
Maybe we'll have Sonic doing ice block pushing puzzles next.
No. Don't make me think about ice block pushing puzzles.
Alright, well, let me instead make you think about being chased by spike walls in Silver Castle.
I remember those parts.
That was...
Actually, they weren't that hard, but it's like, why are you doing this?
Yeah.
One was like over in 2 seconds, and I was like, did it glitch or something? Did that happen to you? One of them, it's like, it moves for like a second, and then it's over.
The way they accelerate is really inconsistent, because they speed up quickly after they start slow, but the amount that they speed up to is still slower than you can run, so you can leave them in the dust.
Maybe that's what it was. But yeah, that's interesting.
Alright, the final boss is a turnstile with mirrors on it that shoots lasers at you, and you have to reflect them back.
I didn't hate this boss, to be honest.
That's interesting. I was about to be like, and I doubt you'll agree with me here, but after the rest of the game being terrible, I was actually like, it's actually a pretty good boss.
Yeah, it was an interesting idea for a boss.
It's got a consistent internal logic, if nothing else. And, one thing that is crucial to know is that you can still move the mirror platform back and forth while the up top is showing him shooting at you.
Yes, yes, yes.
Actually, that was another cool thing, I'm trying to think, is it off? Have they ever utilized, like, where, like, the screen scrolls back and forth like it does in this boss? And I don't think they have, really. Well, something I liked about this boss, it actually felt kind of like, even though it's random in terms of gameplay, and I'm not sure what's going on, it actually felt like a final boss, because you get in, and Sonic's there, and you're like, and then it suddenly scrolls up, and you see Eggman, and he's like, and he shoots you. You're like, oh shoot, I have to react.
Yeah.
And so it has a sort of more climactic feel, because it's like Sonic, and there's like Eggman, it goes back and forth, like they're staring each other down at a distance or something.
It is the one twinkle of diamond left on the shit-crusted jewel of nothingness that is this game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's Sonic Blast, and I wish I could blast this game into the sun.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't... When I saw this game on the list, I was like, okay. And then I actually went and played the game, like, I didn't know that there was another game that used these weird graphics. Because I knew about Sonic 3D Blast. But I didn't know about this game. And so it's like, I didn't know this existed. And I don't want to know this game exists anymore.
Yeah, I'm glad this game is forgettable, because I'm looking forward to forgetting it.
Yeah, the Men in Black can help you with that.
Oh, good. Anyway,
Well,
but yeah, Sonic Blast, that's it.
Yep. Are we on to the last two now? Oh boy.
Sonic Drift, originally never localized out of Japan until Sonic Adventure DX put it in the minigame collection. This is a 2D racing game, so this is our first non-platformer on the entire show. And, I wish something else had been our first non-platformer, because this game is pretty bare bones.
It feels like underwhelming Outrun or Super Mario Kart.
Oh.
Well, Outrun, yes. Mario Kart, less so, because at least Mode 7 makes it look like there's depth. This is my biggest problem, is that I hate 2D racing games that just have a track that, oscillates to make it look kind of like you're moving. I can never judge any depth perception in a game like this.
The epilepsy warnings.
Yeah.
If you have epilepsy or might have epileptic attacks, don't play this or the next game.
Just don't play them anyway while you're at it.
Don't play them in the first place, but really don't play them if you have epilepsy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of racers that try to do 3D that have no right trying to do 3D. I was absolutely terrible at this game. I got 4th place every single time, except the very last race, then I got 3rd place.
Same.
I managed to get first a couple times. I actually did. I think I got first in the Grand Prix in this game.
I got first place once.
It's not like I really wanted to, it's...
Actually, I think I got first place in the Drift 2.
I'm not
this
talking
game...
Drift 2. I have different thoughts on that game. Drift 1, though, specifically, I was terrible at.
This game has 4 playable characters. Sonic, Tails, Eggman, and Amy, I think. I don't think there's Knuckles in this game.
That sounds right. There's just the 4 that I raced with. Cause I don't think there are any more than there are in each race.
And to the best of my knowledge, they all play exactly the same. And every track is... Well, they're all different shapes. And that's one thing that is true about this game, is that, it feels insubstantial on the outset, and it is. But it does actually have a lot of tracks, because you can select the color... Not a difficulty select, because it has a difficulty select. Yeah. But it has you choose between, like, red, green, and yellow or something like that. And it gives you a whole different selection of tracks for all 6 zones if you do that.
I noticed that.
I didn't do that because I didn't care that much.
I didn't either, especially after getting destroyed in races.
All the tracks they don't have any, stage gimmicks. They're backdrops of Sonic 1 stages without any of the charm.
Oh, okay. Graphically, I think it has the charm.
Yeah.
I think it looked pretty nice.
It looks nice. Yeah.
Maybe it's that the atmosphere of those stages is so much in the music to me that without that, it's like...
Yes. It's interesting that I can recognize graphically the zone very easily. But then it's completely different music, I think. I don't think
I don't think any of the music is from the Genesis game.
Well, I know they're not from the games. I would recognize it, but I don't think that there are any like recurring similarities or anything.
No, there's no motifs. Everything here is it's really generic.
Yeah, and that was sad. I was like, I wanted to just play the Genesis themes when I was playing these stages. It probably would have made the game a lot better, actually, because the game was just lacking. But I do think it's cute that the 6 stages from Sonic 1. I'm like, okay, that's nice. It's like, they tried to do Sonic 1, but it's racing. And there's Amy and Knuckles, apparently. So they kind of broke that. They should have... I don't know who else they could have done, actually, because there's not a lot of characters in that game now. I'm thinking about it, but... they could have... I don't know if this was timeline-wise, but they could have done their own versions of the animal friends, I guess. That
maybe.
For extra racers.
Yeah, so the thing that I worked out with this game is that you basically have to look at the map to see upcoming turns. If you do that, it's way easier to make them. The other thing is that you have to press the B button to drift, but not too much or else you can spin out.
Oh.
Yeah, see, I missed every single turn. I'm like, all right, I'm going to look at the controls. And then I found that out, and then I spun out every single turn instead. I'm like, you can't win.
Yeah, and it's very easy to get Mario Karted, where you make one mistake and everyone just blows right past you. And it's fuck. I might as well restart at this point.
I was curious if this game had any forgiveness, because I'm so spoiled by Mario Kart, although I'm not actually a huge fan of Mario Kart. But the racers are not very interesting. I assume that they always have the exact same placement relative to each other, because they did the 6 races I tried. So it's like, it's obviously just one's good and one's worse and one's worse. And they don't feel like real racers. They're just like soulless.
Well, I guess then the question is, was it always Eggman that was the toughest contender for you?
Yep, for me it was.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Then, they're probably all...
Time.
Well, I don't have any funny statements or fanfare, so let's talk about the second Sonic Drift game. It's mostly the same as the first.
Yeah, pretty much.
I actually had a dramatically different experience with Sonic Drift 2. It's possible it's because I had already gotten a little used to it, because I played it right after Sonic Drift. It's also possible that the fact that I actually played through all the different courses, because there are actually different courses, that, I got a little more used to it, settled in more, but I actually enjoyed it pretty well.
This game is more than the first one. I
only played the first cup. I didn't realize there was more tracks.
Yep, there are not 18 tracks, but there are more than 6.
Shit, okay. Well, I only experienced like a third of the game.
Rip.
Yeah,
oh, well.
you can play as Fang and Metal Sonic, and I think Knuckles too now.
Yes.
I played as Metal. I don't know if they have different stats.
It looked like Sonic can use his boost after 2 rings and Metal after 3. I'm guessing then Metal's boost is faster or something?
That would explain it, because I kept just driving really, really badly in my playthrough of this game.
I noticed this game had like really bad rubber banding AI.
I did think that the AI was way more aggressive in this game. They throw so much stuff at you.
Maybe that's possible. The AI seemed a lot more forgiving, at least. Maybe because I'm bad at the game, the AI didn't destroy me. But I was actually able to win the first 2 cups, and I was like... I did get pretty wrecked in the 3rd cup, but not utterly destroyed. It was probably 2nd or 3rd. I don't remember what I got. But either way, I was actually able to win, so I was like, oh, okay. It felt very forgiving, actually.
Interesting.
TIL.
In fact, there was actually one part where I was moving along and my finger slipped onto the fast forward button of the emulator, and then the opponent racer zipped ahead. I'm like, I could redo the race, but I'm not going to. But I actually still got first place, so I think they rubber band the other direction too.
Interesting. Well, yeah, that's usually what happens with rubber banding.
That's certainly proving Bruce's hypothesis, yeah.
Well, because I noticed anytime I would get to first place, I would, whoever was in second place would almost immediately overtake again.
Yeah, well, that's true. It was always close at the end of every race, I will say that.
So
Yeah.
that's what made me really feel like the game had ridiculous rubber banding.
Well, I don't know because I always was in the back, but I think they added. When you're passing racers, you like your character looks behind and in front of you, except if you're playing as Metal Sonic, which is a neat touch. I don't know if that was in the first game or not, but I thought that was pretty charming.
I don't think it was, but I don't know.
Okay. So yeah, the characters definitely had more personality, and got to
I think
try different ones.
the tracks that I played had more personality as well.
Well, they're not
Yeah,
all
they
just
were
lifted
actually-
from the games. They've got different
Yeah.
ones. There's like a savannah stage, and that's where the epilepsy comes in because it has lightning in it.
Okay, yes, I hated that stage. That was terrible.
I recognize that stage only for it being a really deep cut from one of the later Archie comics where they put that stage in.
Really?
Interesting. Okay. The more you talk about the Archie comics, the more I want to read them.
Well,
We're getting there.
We're-
I think
yeah,
we
we're
got
getting there, I know.
a few episodes left of games, and by a few
I
I
probably-
mean like almost 10. But
I probably should start reading them though.
well, it's gonna be a week by week basis, so you can do whatever you want.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. Anyway,
but in the first game, the courses had looks, but there was a lot more to mix up the courses in this game. I liked that some of them were lap based and some of them were just one long stretch. That
was pretty nice.
different.
I like it when Mario Kart does that, even though they don't do it very often.
I did not like. I think there was one of the stage did this too, but I remember at first in Dark Valley where you can fall off the side of the stage.
Okay, I was getting into that.
Terrible.
Yeah,
Especially with
turns
how
all
twisty and annoying the courses are and how hard it is to make the turns in a 2D racing game. I was constantly falling off.
yeah.
Definitely. It looks like when the crane hand is actually moving back on the course, the other racers freeze though, so that's kind of nice.
Mm.
Yeah, that's definitely more than Lakitu affords you.
Oh yeah, the Lakitu would rather steal your monthly wage and then also drop you like behind everyone else.
Quite true. I don't think the 3D look is well. It doesn't. I'm bad at depth a lot of the time.
There.
But I did like the 3D look of the side tubes, which first appeared in Desert Road, but was used in other stages too. I thought that was actually pretty nice. I'm like, oh whoa! I'm like zipping up and down a ramp thingy. I don't know. That was neat.
I'll have to take a look at those. That's not ringing a bell to me.
Okay.
I found
well,
myself running into racers from behind a lot. The track is pretty narrow, so there's just not a lot of space to pass people. And that does damage, I think, now, if you hit them, so...
Yeah.
I don't know if it
yeah.
was doing damage or if they were using items.
Actually, that's a thing. Well, okay, again, it's probably... Well, the first game... No, the first game didn't really have... It had a special power that your character had, but it didn't have items, did it?
It had strings, and it had invincibility, I remember, because I took a note that said that the invincibility was a really, really short you-can-do-anything loop.
Okay, but I think there were more in this game anyway. Maybe because I wasn't always in behind.
No, there's certainly more, because I remember way more things being thrown at me that I didn't want.
It seemed like the AI was programmed to run into the spike balls on purpose to make them more useful, which I appreciate because I can't aim those things ever. Also, Eggman is really slow, and that's the only thing he's got going for him.
Yeah, I would figure.
His music seems kind of funky, sort of like actual Mystic K's music. So there seemed to be a slight resemblance there, although maybe I was just really just hoping for anything remotely like the actual theme. I don't know if you got that vibe at all, but...
I did not, but, it's like, you find yourself grasping for straws sometimes with these games. Like, please just do something that I think is really cool, and then I don't.
Yeah.
I did think the game was pretty nice overall, like I said. I do like the aesthetic of...
It made a definite improvement over the first one, certainly.
Yeah, I do still like the aesthetic of a lot of the zones, and it's nice to have original ones. Milky Way is pretty, I think. Very colorful, multicolor starscape rather than just white stars. And I was like, okay, that is neat. How at the end of the course, you go into the Death Egg, and then the next course is Death Egg. And I'm like, yes.
Yeah, that is pretty good.
So
Well.
yeah, no. Overall, I mean, I definitely would not play this game again because there are much better racing games out there.
There are better Sonic racing games.
There are better Sonic racing games, but I actually didn't hate it. I wasn't really. It's not really comparable because it's not the same sort of thing as the platformers. So I'm like, I feel like it's not fair to compare against the other games I've played, but I wasn't raging at it really. Maybe it helps that because it's a racing game, you can get through and experience everything without actually doing well. Maybe that's the reason. If I had to get first place in every course, I probably would hate this game.
Bruce, what is your rating of this game?
This game?
I've seen your notes, just say it.
I gave this game a rating of fuck this game. I gave both drift games fuck this game. The only thing these games really did that I think was good was make me go play Super Mario Kart.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, and I'm kind of right in between you guys again. I think it's similar to the Sonic 3 episode. I think that there is, there's a baseline amount of value that, a given piece of art can have. And in this case, it's like, here's a cute little Sonic racing game. Oh, I don't like playing it. Well, maybe, the second one, they did look at things that were a certain way about the first game, and they did change them, which tells me that, that is a response. It's just that it's too little, and I don't think it could ever be much, given that this is a racing game on an 8-bit handheld, It's like, even if this were on the Genesis, you'd have to be really good at making games to make it good. I think that they should have made this a top-down racer, more than anything.
Oh, definitely.
That would have definitely been better.
Yeah, so I give Sonic Drift 2 a rating of you tried your best. I give Sonic Drift 1 a rating of who cares. Chaos gets a rating of basically competent. Triple Trouble gets another you tried, and Sonic Blast gets a rating of go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, we get to rate them all. Okay.
You can do that if you want. I'm just making things up now.
Nah, I'm gonna do it because I want it.
All right. I mean, I did rate all the games as well.
I didn't rate them. I'm doing it now though.
All right, let's do
Chaos
this.
is short and pretty, but way too short. Triple Trouble is it's another bad 8-bit game. Blast looks bad, plays bad. Drift is you tried to make a racing game, but you didn't make it very good. And Drift 2 is you tried and you did better, but it's still not really that good compared to other racing games out there.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I should give my ratings.
Do it.
Sure.
All right. Well, the two Drift games are already fuck this game. Chaos is could be better, but it's pretty bland. Triple Trouble is and Blast is shitty Donkey Kong for shitty people.
Very nice. So there you have it. Everything in a nutshell.
Yeah, it made for a nice, concise episode, and it was
not 2 hours long.
Yeah, and it is a preview of things to come, because this is our first non-platformer games in the series, and next week we will continue that with 3 puzzle games and 2 pinball games. We are going to be talking about Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, the other one, on the Game Gear, Sonic Eraser, which I think is technically the second game in the Sonic series, but we didn't talk about it because why would we talk about that? And then Eraser, both versions of Sonic Spinball.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, indeed. That will be interesting.
Well, with all that said, thank you everybody for watching. Thank you to my co-host for joining me here, and I think we'll see you next week.
I don't see why not.
See you then.